It's your boy, Jeff Jones.
You know me. One, two, three. The upset specialist, Thomas Boykin.
Always and forever who? Mr. Mike Jones.
And this is 234 Sports Talk. Fellas, let's
talk
talk about it.
Let's
All
talk
right.
about it.
Big story. Michael Irvin, former Dallas Cowboys superstar, legend, accused of, we want to call this sexual misconduct. It's been alleged. Nothing. He hasn't been arrested or anything, but it's been alleged. And this is the background, fellas. And this is from the horse's mouth, Michael Irvin himself. Michael Irvin said that he was back home celebrating with some friends and some family. And he said that he was at a hotel and said that they were just, sounds like some drinking was going on. And they were getting ready to go. He said that they were staying in his suite. They were getting ready to go. He said everybody started leaving out. He called for rides for them to go and everything. And then he said that he got ready to go, but he was there with this alleged victim. And he said that once he left, he said she left right behind him, right from the horse's mouth. Said they got in the elevator together, went down to the lobby. He said there's videotapes to prove this. And he said that I'm assuming she went back up to the room. He told her to go because I guess she was still a little drunk or whatever. And she went back up to the room, to the suite. And he said that he texted her and everything. He said he had texted this woman maybe 10 times in between that time. And then all of a sudden, wow, breaking news. He gets hit with misconduct, this misconduct charge. And he said it came out of the clear blue. He's known this woman for, he said, almost a decade. And he said she was like a niece to him, and he is shocked by these allegations. Fellas, what's your take on this?
All you can say is wow. Because when you think you know somebody, you never know what they're capable of pulling the trigger on. And I think this has a lot to do with money, I think, because as a pro athlete or as a former pro athlete who has been successful, which Michael Irvin was pretty successful, this is a way to make a quick buck with he said, she said. And I think if Michael Irvin sounds pretty confident, and he sounds like, what he's saying is he's got absolute truth in. So we'll see what happens when it comes out. But if he's that confident, I think he'll be I think he will walk away clean. What you got on him, Jay?
Yes, I agree, guys. I think I might have caught some of that interview if that's the same one, Jones, that we're talking about. But Michael sounds very confident. He also has witnesses as well, and like you said, Thomas, man, you think you know somebody, but the true reality of it all, when you become a professional, whether it's entertainment, football, sports, whatever, man, people are coming at you, man, left, right, everybody's trying to make this little quick buck, man, off of you. You know what I'm saying? By way of lawsuits and stuff like that. And what's sad about it and I understand the network has to do what they have to do, but they pulled Michael Irvin from that Super Bowl deal, and they didn't ask any questions; they just yanked. You know what I mean? And that was kind of unfair. So I'm pretty sure he lost money in that. You know what I mean? But then not only that, like I said, Mike, man, he's had his share of some problems back in the past. And one thing I know, man, when a person know they hadn't done anything, because my understanding is I think his legal team, they really don't want him to talk. But when you're so confident, man, that you ain't done nothing wrong, you're gonna speak out. So, man, it's just sad, man. It's just sad to where this world is, man. on stuff like that, man. But I wish Mike the best though.
Absolutely.
Well, the judges ordered the hotel to give up the tapes of this alleged misconduct. Uh, and like you said, Mike, Michael Irvin, he seemed real confident. And anybody that doesn't have anything to hide, they'll speak up and tell their truth. And I think that this is one of those cases, like you all said, where it's just one of those things where the dollar signs got to this individual. And I think
Right.
that she's trying to get a come up off of Michael Irvin. I really feel that way. But you got to be careful when you got made a name for yourself, and you're famous because these type of individuals, and once again, everything has to come to light. But I'm just saying from a standpoint of the confidence of Michael Irvin, that when you're famous, people will come out of the woodworks to try to tear you down, and they'll try to make a dollar off your name. So we hope the best for him in this situation, and the truth will come to light. All right, fellas, turning our attention to the NBA, there's been some movement. We know Kevin Durant is in Phoenix. We know Kyrie Irving is in Dallas. Then you have Bridges and Johnson over in New Jersey now. Well, not New Jersey, but Brooklyn. Fellas, as you look at this, and even the Lakers made some moves with D'Angelo Russell, coming back over there. What do you fellas think about the trades and the impacts? Are you impressed with anything that you have seen? We know that a few players haven't played yet, but are you impressed with some of the things that you have seen?
Some of the things that I have seen, we are who they thought they are. The Mavs are a scoring squad. That's what they do. All Kyrie is doing is add more fuel to the fire. They're going to be a prolific scoring team once he gets acclimated and decides that Kyrie Irvin wants to play basketball, which we all know he has a proven record of, I play when I'll get ready to play. That's how I take it. But the rest of it, D'Angelo Russell, I think, will be a different fit for the Lakers. Losing Westbrook was probably a good thing for the Lakers, even though I liked Westbrook there. They just didn't put the pieces that Westbrook needed to thrive around Westbrook there. But that's okay. He'll probably be okay where he's at. KD in Phoenix is going to be a great fit. The only thing that we got to do now is see where defensively where Phoenix is going to be at, because historically Phoenix has never been a defensive team. The Bucks just made them more formidable. Come on, man! You just added another bullet to the gun. So I'm good with that. The other pieces, the New Jersey Nets, the upside is large, real large. These youngsters are going to show their worth in the long run, and the draft picks that they're bringing behind the trades is going to make them that much better. But I still think, as we discussed before, they're going to need a little bit of guidance, of upper leadership guidance. So they may have to find somebody to kind of guide the rookies down the road, or the 1 or 2, 3 year players down the road, so they get their system established, so they have an identity and build from that. What you got on MJ?
Yes, sir. My. Times have changed from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, 2000. I mean, now you got superstars moving around the board mid-season now. You know what I'm saying? Who would have ever thunk it, man? Big names being moved around like that. But I like the changes that has occurred. Most of these big time changes have really occurred in the Western Conference. So,
Absolutely.
everybody's trying to get that last juice put in the tank before the playoffs roll around. And like you said, with Dallas, man, they just added some more fuel. The only problem with them is figuring out who the clutch guy is at the end of the game because it's supposedly Lucas' team, but because they kind of the other night they kind of had a little issue with that. Nobody wanted to take the last shot, so But once they get that figured out, I think Dallas is gonna be cool. I tell you what, I like the Lakers. They seem a little more fluid, moving the ball around. And I think they're gonna actually get LeBron to do a lot more different things now instead of just handling the rock. At least so far from what I'm seeing. They might revert back to their old ways on how they use LeBron. But and then like you said, Phoenix, your boy, he's working now. He's getting those practices in. So I'm excited to see what this thing's gonna look like, man, come playoff time. But back with the Eastern Conference, like I said, Milwaukee, they added that extra piece. But I really didn't see too many big name guys being moved around over there in the East. So I guess the East pretty comfortable about what they got over there. But I don't know. I think it makes the game a little more interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get to see new faces. And so, yeah, I'm excited, man. I really want to see what Phoenix is gonna do, man. Everybody's blowing them up. They're hyping them up. I
Oh
want to
yeah,
see what they can do.
for good reason. They got potential. They got great upside. The question is, can they get stops, which is what they're not known for, getting stops when they need stops.
Mm-hmm.
Scoring points won't be an issue. They can score all day.
All right. That's
Fellas,
why. That's why I tell you what, guys, man. A lot of these trades, man, like I said, have been mostly notable out there on the West Coast. But man, I'm gonna take it some defense, man, and give me my Boston Celtics, man, in a series uh, over all this prolific type scoring. You know what I mean? Give me Boston all day.
and you must have read my mind, Mike Jones. That's where I was going. And I was gonna say, as I look at these teams in the East, it's very clear. It's only two teams. You got Boston and you got Milwaukee. And Jay Crowder is going. We'll see what he brings to the table. Milwaukee's looking good, 11-game win streak. Just beat Boston the other night, without some starters. Of course, people will talk about, the Boston didn't have all these starters, but hey, everybody who shows up is professional. So we beat them in overtime the other night. Well, and then when you look at the West, I think the West is wide open. I mean, you flip a coin. I mean, will the Warriors turn it around? We know Steph Curry is hurt right now. Warriors don't look as good. The Clippers, I can't see them coming out of the West. Phoenix, we really don't know what we're going to get with them. And then when you look at Memphis, they don't even look as good as they did last year to me. I'm looking at them sideways. So
Mm-hmm.
when we look at the East and the West, we like I said, we got two teams. I think, unless you guys know somebody else, I don't think Philly or anybody else in the East
I
or
think Philly.
Cleveland, maybe Cleveland. Can't forget
I
about
still
them.
think. I still think Philly will be a formidable threat.
What about when we look at it? Okay, East West, fellas. What's when you look at the East and the West? What do you guys think will happen? Who do you favor coming out of the West? Who do you favor coming out of the East?
Well, like a Eastern Conference, I say flat out. I still tell people all the time, until you show me otherwise, Milwaukee is the team to beat, point blank. I mean, they've already showed you on more than one occasion. Hey, look, we're here to be reckoned with for the long haul. It's a no-brainer. I got Milwaukee winning the East all day, every day. Easy. Cakewalk. Western Conference, it's a whole nother, it's a shakedown, Western Conference. It's just a complete, it's all about who's going to be on the heater as the playoff comes on. Because right now you get apples and oranges, and with the new ships jumping on, you don't know who's going to skyrocket and who's going to plummet. I still say until you prove them wrong, otherwise you still got to beat Golden State. They're still your defending Eastern Conference champs, Western Conference champs, even though they're looking kind of shaky with Steph out. The road still got to go through Golden State. I mean, you got to beat the champ to take the champ out. So that's what I got on it. What you got on MJ?
Yeah, Thomas seemed like he was kind of halfway reading my mind a little bit, except with Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee, man. Dude, Jones, I like Milwaukee, but Milton, he's been a little still inconsistent. He's been ghost some games. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's completely 100%. And sometimes with an injury, sometimes like his, man, it might take 2 years. Who knows? Everybody heals a little different. But I look at Boston, man. I'm just a Boston guy. Plus, I think they hired their head coach because I think he was interim.
Yeah, so they took the interim off of that.
Yeah, so they hired him full time. All the players know each other, man. And last year, man, it was a baptism. You know what I mean? And so I look for them to take another step forward in reaching that championship. And then with the Western Conference, Thomas, like you said, until the champs are dethroned, plus they done brought your boy, I guess he's there, Gary
Payton Jr. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one piece, or that's one team that probably is a consistent variable. The other teams, like you said, Clippers, Lakers, Dallas, Denver, you just don't know, man. I would, man. I wouldn't bet on them now. I wouldn't do no type of betting with that Western Conference. But give Golden State the heads up right now.
You gotta give them their due right now. Absolutely.
Well, fellas, let's talk a little. The Super Bowl's passed, but there are some things that some people agree with in the game. Some people didn't agree with in the game. As we looked at the Super Bowl, is there anything that stood out? Any type of controversy that you guys want to bring to light tonight?
That tomahawk chop was in effect, baby.
And let's give the upset specialist his props. He called it.
Boom. Yes, sir. Like I said, we talked earlier. Like I said, great game, great football game. A lot of ebbs and flows, a lot of wave riding in that game. I truly think, as we talked offline, the fumble was the biggest play, the biggest momentum shift to that game. Because I think if Hurts doesn't fumble this ball and they go up 2 scores instead of 1, it changes the whole concept of the game. But it happened. And you can't take nothing away from Philly not even rolling over. But you got to give credit to Kansas City defense. They didn't break the second half. They didn't break hardly much at all the second half. And that's huge. They put a lot more pressure on their quarterback. Philly's quarterback, Hurts, ain't seen that much pressure all year. And for me, the backbreaker, the Mahomes 40-yard run, that was a killer because that's something that they weren't looking for. The holding call, the most controversial call of the game. Everybody says, "Oh, they should have let him play." Dude, when he put him in the wash, you can see him clearly grab the guy's jersey. Clearly. It's no ifs, ands, because if he doesn't grab him, he knows the 6. He knows this because he's beating the wash. Philly had a problem of playing over-aggressive, and Kansas City took advantage of an over-aggressive defense, and it cost them in the long run. What you got on them, Jay?
Yeah, that fumble by Hurts, like you said, that right there, man, I believe it broke the momentum that Philly had. Like you said, they had to win up on that right there with that score. That was gonna break some of them guys' wheel. You know what I mean? And and like you said, kudos to Kansas City, man. They hung in there, man, because at the beginning of the game, Philly was trying to just bully him. You know, we're gonna run this ball, we're gonna throw it, and you can't do nothing about
It
it. And
wasn't about trying to bully them. They bullied them the first half.
another thing that, like you said, momentum switch in a game is huge, man. Once that momentum get on your side, man, and fans, man, it seemed like that was a home game for Kansas City. But also, I want to note that two other things I want to note is offensively for Kansas City. Kansas and late in that game got to do, like you said, Philly defense was aggressive, and Kansas man was just catching them over pursuing. And another thing that kind of hurt a little bit, they was talking about the grass, the grass turf,
Yeah,
and saying how
yeah,
slick it was. So
yeah.
if you're an offensive guy and you know the grass is slick, so you're gonna have an advantage over that defensive player because you know exactly where you're going. If you're a defensive player and they motioning that receiver and that receiver stop on a dime, you gonna slip. Like I said, man, it's just not gonna work in your favor. And then the holding call, I'm hearing a lot of people talk about, man, I would have let that go. That you playing in a championship game. But to me, it was an obvious PI. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta call that, man. And but overall, man, I was satisfied with the Super Bowl. It was fluid. It had some intensity late in the ball game. So yeah, I think the best two teams were there, and so man, I enjoyed it.
I will say this, like we talked earlier, hats off to Mr. Pachenko, because that dude is a game changer.
Yes.
That dude he wrecked a whole lot of plans that Philly didn't plan on.
Right.
It was like, okay, where did this guy come from, and why is he running like he's running, and why are we letting him run like he runs? This dude was finding holes everywhere.
Hey Jones, where did this guy come from, man?
From Rutgers.
He came
Rutgers.
seventh round pick from Rutgers. Seventh round.
Wow.
You never know. You just
Yes, sir.
never know.
Fellas, as I looked at that game, it's just my view. As I was watching this game, I'm thinking I felt like Philly they got away from the run early.
That they did that too. They got way away from the running the ball. They got way away from the run. Here's the other thing that we missed out on with this, because this is a historical game in a lot of ways, with brothers playing against each other, two African American quarterbacks playing against each other. But did you know we had another history maker with Philly in that Super Bowl game? We had a black female assistant coach that coached at Philly for that game.
Did not know.
Yeah, didn't know that.
Yes, sir. So we just breaking all kind of barriers now.
Oh yeah.
And I applaud that. That's kudos to them.
Really? Brotherly love.
I don't know
Gotta have
if you guys seen the video, the Kelsey brothers, their mom came down on the field. If you guys seen that, it was bittersweet because one son she's congratulating, and then the other son she's kind of consoling because
right.
But it was great to see something like that. The brothers actually get a chance to play against each other, even though somebody had to lose the game. And then, of course, two African American quarterbacks going against each other for the first time ever in the Super Bowl, and it was a great Super Bowl, fellas. And I don't understand the field conditions. You guys talked a little bit about that earlier. I don't understand that. And some of the announcers were talking about that it was the paint,
on the
that they,
field that was making the slick. Yeah.
yeah, and that was real bad. I mean, I thought that was horrible. I mean, this is the Super Bowl. Come on, you would think that they would, think something like, this might affect the running game or, the play.
Well,
My
look,
thing was they've never paint's never been an issue with a Super Bowl. That's why it's a head scratcher.
well, listen, I did some research on that right there. It wasn't just the paint; it was some Bermuda grass that they had got from overseas. It was a mix, and it was built put into that stadium because it can survive the certain type heat and whatever. But it was something new. It was like they it's like breeding an animal. They breed it like a couple different Bermudas and put it together, and they put it out there on the field. And so they said that, it was, they had tested it and said it was supposed to be some good grass. But under those conditions, like you said, when you throw paint on it and stuff like that, man, it causes a whole lot more problem. They got to do a lot more study before, because they said they've used it, but then I heard a player, I can't recall who it was, they played the very first game they played in that stadium earlier this season. He said that grass was trash. He said, yeah.
Oh wow, grass trash.
But they spent like, if I'm not mistaken, like $800,000 something for this grass.
Wow. Yeah,
It's
that's a lot. That's a lot for grass for sure.
yeah. Guys, look it up, man. So I might not be dead. I might not be dead on with what I'm saying, but check it out, man. You read up on it. You'll see what.
Check it out.
Well,
Yes,
all right,
sir.
fellas. We've talked about it. And until the next time, it's been 234 Sports Talk. You can catch us right here on YouTube. You can catch us on TikTok. You can catch us on Twitter. You can catch us on Instagram. And remember, as always, it don't cost you nothing to hit that button. And we
And it
want to
don't
talk
cost you
to
nothing
you.
to leave a question.
That's right. We want to interact with you. Let us know whether you like the show or not. And we had a gentleman, and sometimes we make mistakes on the show. A gentleman had to correct us with one of the HBCUs, and he did it in love, and I thank the brother for that. And I told him we thank you for that, because every show, if you look at every show, even the ESPN shows, when they do at the end, somebody may say, "Oh, you made a mistake on this," and they correct them. So it's just one of those things. But we want to interact with you and let us know what you think about the show. Once again, it's been 234 Sports Talk. Until the next time, we are out. Peace.